we should be good. Everything looks like it's working properly. Oh yeah, I was gonna do, which one did I add it to? I want to pop you over to this one and that one. So we'll be able to hear it when I want to. I really want to get this one has ultramagnetic. Did I start the input redirection? Okay, that's this input redirection start on that one. Let's input redirection start on that one. So in theory, we should be good. All right. Let's get going. I'll also go ahead and record that. Right, I'm actually trying to see if I can get you over here plugged in. Yeah, they're all. Yeah, it looks like they're good. Yeah. What's that? Fine. Out. Both of you. Out. Cat too. Yes. You know what, we'll just plug that in if it becomes necessary. Oh God, is it kind of warm in here? And then just to link them up, I'm going to do one on here first. Because OCD. Didn't I leave a pair of some headphones over here? Yeah, I did. I did do that. Oh, I thought that was shiny for a second. I got shine out again. Oh, hey Flint. Sorry I didn't notice those sooner. My mind was focused on stuff. I hate it. Yeah, I'm glad to see you at a stream. Also, actually streaming for once, because I'm actually caught up on stuff. Like I've got I've got a good start on most of the projects I want to do. There's some that I haven't really done a lot of, but you know, I've got the county application done. I'm able to stream multiple 3DS's. I'm working on multiple editing projects at once, which is kind of fun. So, yeah, I miss streaming a lot. And also, I realized I should stream more older games because they get more views, apparently. Like, I posted the Blacephalon reaction, and within a day or two, it had 2,000 views and 55 likes, 2 dislikes, and like 10 comments. So to say that it went viral in the algorithm for me is, yeah, that's what happened. I haven't had a regular video do that good in a while. Zipper! Hush! But yeah, what do you think? I was able to get streaming the 3DS is working, and I guess I can show you their actual 3DS's live. They're not. It's not like what Way does, where Way he ports his save files over to the computer, and essentially plays on the computer using his save files. So yeah, I'm glad. Makes me happy. The streams are entertaining too. And the streams are a good way to pass the time too. Oh, that's cool. I have a bunch of Fuecoco eggs. I just, I hate breeding. Like, even though you can breed so much faster in Scarlet and Violet, it feels like, I don't know what it is. Masuda methoding in Scarlet and Violet feels so much slower, even though I know it's so much faster. It's just weird. But yeah, I will need to eventually get the starters. But if you look at the overall time, the hatching is actually fairly quick compared to older generations. Like, with a Flame Body Pokemon, it's way faster than older generations. It's like half the amount of time to hatch a batch of eggs. Yeah, that is true, though, yeah. Because in older generations, they all hatch at once. But in this one, I don't know what they did with the code, but it does seem to have a random factor to it. Where even if you get them all out at the same time, they're going to be slightly different hatching times. So yeah, that is true. But they don't hatch... The overall time to hatch 5 of them is still faster than the older generations, based on my testing. So... But it just feels slower, and it's weird. And I think part of that is you're not... It's part of it is the collecting. Even though the collecting is theoretically faster, it still feels slower too. But it's weird. I feel like part of it is just because it's so open world and you can encounter so many Pokemon at once. Because you can encounter so many Pokemon at once in the overworld, once you get to hatching, it feels miserably slow because compared to normal shiny hunting, it is. Yeah. Like, you're right. I guess you're right, yeah. You're not actually moving the character. You can literally just set your character AFK. In a few minutes, you'll have 10 eggs. And as long as you collect the eggs before you try and go over 10, you'll collect the maximum amount of eggs you can within that time frame. That is one of the things that grinds my gears, though. I hate that they made the maximum amount of eggs in a basket 10, because I would love to just be able to go do something while I leave it AFK and then come back and collect like 50 to 100 eggs. But they're like, nope, 10 is the maximum you can get. And it just annoys me that I can't go and do something else and leave my Switch fully AFK to collect eggs. And if you had a turbo controller, it should theoretically be possible, but it's not, because the turbo controller clicking on the basket, it seems like there's something within the code that makes it so clicking on the basket makes it so an egg cannot be generated. So by constantly clicking on the basket, you lower the number of eggs you'll get with a turbo controller. So you can't even do that. But how's your life been going? Also, it is so nice coming back to these older games with the faster resets. I miss these fast resets so much. It is so slow resetting anything on the Switch. It is hard to do. Yep. Yep. Although what does suck about this 3DS setup, though, is the old games are pretty... oh, what's it called? I guess the thing about it that differs from the capture card is if you try to play a Game Boy or Game Boy Color game, the color shifts slightly, and then the other thing is you cannot play DS and Game Boy Advance games on it because this is going over Wi-Fi, and because of that, since when you start up a DS game or a Game Boy Advance ROM, it disconnects you from the Wi-Fi to play those games, so you can't stream those games because of that. It's been pretty okay. Been able to see my girlfriend more often because she moved closer. Actually going to see her in 3 days. That's awesome, man. Glad that that's working out for you. Oh. So yeah, I am still gonna do that. Oh, did I show you? I don't know if I ever showed you. Hold on, let me grab it. Let me go grab it. Yeah. So that is a custom mod chip for the DS Lite and a custom ribbon cable. So you can put that into it and you can get it to output video via an AV cable. Actually, it's the headphone jack, so you can take in the audio to the red, yellow, and white cable thing, and then you can plug that into your into an HDMI converter, and I could literally plug it into my multi-viewer. So if I can get one of those to work, I'll probably eventually order a second one, and then see if I can get that second one to work. But it's kind of a bitch because there's a section of it that requires you to solder. So I don't know if you know anything about soldering, but you've got this really tiny capacitor, and I can solder tiny capacitors pretty easily. The problem is you have to solder half of the capacitor to the board and then half of the capacitor to another wire that goes somewhere else, and that is just a huge pain in the ass to do. So I may or may not have botched like 5 DS Lites already that I bought off of Facebook for cheap. But luckily, even after botching them, I was able to turn them into Game Boy macros anyways. So, and these DS Lites were either in poor condition, quality-wise, and they had broken hinges, you know, so it wasn't really that big of a loss. And I still made back some of the money I bought on them because I resold them as Game Boy macros. So, I still need to start looking for a DS Lite that's broken again for a reasonable amount of money. Because it's insane. The price of consoles just keeps going up and up and up with everything else, and it's kind of pissing me off. Like, even for a broken fucking, like, one of these that's broken, doesn't work, they want, like, $150 for a broken one. I'm like, really? I sold my broken 2DS XL for $50, and the guy didn't even want to give it to me for that. He wanted to pay less for my broken 2DS XL, which I would have been willing to do, but I wanted $50 for it because a new screen's like $30, so labor is you're probably gonna end up being between shipping and everything else. So it's probably gonna be $100 for the replacement parts and everything. So I figured you'd still be able to get $100 to $200 profit depending on what you sold it for. So, you ready for the DLC? No, I'm not. I do not have the funding for the DLC or the desire to play it. I do not like the fact that they announced a DLC. My honest opinion, the DLC proves a point that I've been making since I played the game. And I'm not saying the games are good, right? They have their problems with their fun. But they lack content, right? And they don't have any real post-game content other than, you go through, you battle the gyms again, which is cool, okay. And then you can do that tournament. That's all really the post-game has. It doesn't really have a lot more post-game like a lot of the older games have. And what I wish they would have done is, is something like Legends Arceus. Because my biggest really gripe with the game is the number of Pokemon. There were only 400 Pokemon to go through the region and catch. And with such a large map, it pissed me off that there were only 400 Pokemon. Because when I found a new area, it was kind of annoying that it had the same 5 Pokemon as the last area, and they totally could have added more new Pokemon and additional Pokemon from the past. And it feels like the DLC, it's a lot like Sword and Shield's DLC. They totally could have added more Pokemon to the base game, but instead they're going to charge you an extra $35 to catch those Pokemon in a DLC area instead of just allowing them to be on the original map. It's bullshit in my opinion. Again, I was not a fan of the idea of DLC in Sword and Shield. I think that content probably should have been in the game originally, and yeah. But again, Blitzle should have been on the Switch in the base game. That's the point I'm making. Like, what they should have done is taken, so between, so you have all of Gen 1 through 4 Pokemon, right? It's not. I've done breakdowns of why it's not. Again, the Switch Pro is a lot like the Diamond and Pearl remake rumors. People are going to talk about a Switch Pro until it eventually happens or something else, and it's not. I mean, I don't know if you've watched my breakdown videos of it, but I guess I can explain it briefly. So the first reason that they're not going to release the Switch Pro is the sales of the Switch. The sales of the Switch are still going up. It's reaching some of the highest sales it ever has. So one thing you do as a company is, if your console is still selling, you're probably not inherently going to invest resources into releasing a new one because the old one is still selling as much as it has. And the other big reason is it's an engineering problem, really. So you have, it'll be a different type of console. I doubt it. But I mean, everything I've seen is a Switch Pro style thing where it can play Switch games, so. But the engineering behind, you have two main engineering problems behind a good handheld. And they're actually interesting. You've got heat rejection and battery life. So the more horsepower that you have in a computer, the more power it needs to take up, which means the bigger the battery needs to be and the bigger the hardware needs to be. And with that also comes heat rejection. The more processing your components do, the more heat you're going to inevitably need to reject. So those are the two main engineering problems. And I just don't see them being able to fit all of that in a tiny thing like this, you know? And the Steam Deck already exists, and the Steam Deck's like 3 times the size of this. And I don't think that they'd build a Steam Deck style thing with the Steam Deck still selling. And the Steam Deck kind of defeats the purpose of the Switch because it's meant to be small and portable. So it's kind of like, you can't have small and portable and powerful at this moment in time, because the engineering just can't happen behind it. Like, even if you look at some of the other ones where they have managed to dumb down the hardware, the battery life is only like an hour, and that's without an OLED display. Like, the AO Neo stuff it just doesn't have the battery life, even though it has the horsepower, which, again, defeats the purpose of it being a handheld. So, the biggest one is, until there is a new battery technology released that can power electronics in a smaller form, it's probably not happening. But, you know, I'd love to see it. Nintendo releasing a more powerful console would be nice, except for the fact that I don't really want to put down another $300 to $500 for a console, because I know it sounds weird, but I like the longevity of consoles. I don't like it when they release a console and then a couple years later they release another one, because it's like, well, I just bought this old one, and I don't want to have to buy a new one and transfer all my save datas and do all that other bullshit. I'd like to keep what I have. The other thing is, the Switch can run almost all of the old games Nintendo has produced. It can run like GameCube and 64. So Nintendo was sitting on a gold mine with the Switch, right? Because people really want all of those old games ported to the Switch, and the Switch can reasonably run there. It has the horsepower to do so. So what I want them to do is, I would like them to release. Actually, let me show you. I'm not gonna show you, but So I don't know if you've ever played FNAF on the Switch, but what they did for the FNAF games release was they put all of the FNAF games on one physical cartridge, and they put all the games on the menu individually. And basically, if you have that cartridge in, you can play all of them, and they all show up on the menu. And I feel like they could totally do that with older games, right? So you sell a cartridge that has all the Pokemon games on it, and you sell a cartridge that has all the Mario games on it, and you sell a cartridge, and you make them the retail value of a Switch game, right? Because I would pay $60 for one that has red, blue, yellow, gold, silver, crystal, ruby, sapphire, emerald, fire red, leaf green, pinball, battle revolution, Coliseum XD. Like, you just put all of them on one game cartridge and allow someone to pay for that game cartridge. I mean, you would sell millions of units, and at a $60 price point, and it's minimal work, right? So the minimal work, you port them all to a cartridge. The cartridge costs almost nothing. You're making bank, and people would buy it. They aren't, as far as I know. Also, fuck that shit. Fuck Nintendo Online. That's my opinion on that. I do not like Nintendo Online. There are a couple reasons. The big one is ownership. I don't like not being able to own my shit. I want to have a way... The big one is it's stored locally on a server elsewhere. It's not actually on your machine. And if you don't pay that subscription, you can't access that content. I don't like that kind of mindset. I would rather own my shit and be able to play it when I want to play it. That's part of why I'm shifting over to all physical cartridges, because digital games have a check on them to make sure you own them. Yeah, exactly. You know, and it would be less, like, I would still rather them make some kind of physical version of it, but if I could pay the normal $20 I'm already paying, that I understand I'm paying for, because the thing I understand is, I used to hate having to pay money to access online stuff and to, like, Pokemon Bank and stuff, but having gotten older and being a computer science major who is thinking about minoring in IT, I realized those costs make a lot of sense, because it costs money to it costs money to make a server, it costs money to keep that server up and running, so it makes sense they charge you a reasonable amount of money to keep those servers up and running. What doesn't make sense is making games and saying, okay, you can pay extra to access these games, that even though those games live on the same servers, and they were most likely a small amount of time and effort to port over to the Switch. Yeah. And you know what would be really nice? Being able to play GBA and record it. Because one of the reasons I advocate for these older games to be put on the Switch is, one, you have them in HD 1080p on the Switch, and it makes it a lot easier to record them. You don't have to buy expensive capture cards. I mean, a capture card now is like $100, and you can run it into any HDMI console. So if you have all that stuff on one console, you can just record whatever's on that console. And it would be nice to be able to do that without necessarily having to run a lot of cables on it, or having expensive pieces of hardware. So... And also, as far as I know, they have not officially announced that they're putting the Pokemon games on the Switch memberships. People have discussed it, but they haven't officially announced it. I did hear, though, that when people modded their Switches and tried swapping out the ROMs, that the trading and stuff already worked, which could mean that it just worked on that emulator they ported over, or they are working on it and they just haven't released it, right? Which they most likely have worked on, and it's working and everything, and they just won't release it. They did not. They showed none of them. Nope. In fact, I can show you everything that's on that list right now. Well, no, I can't. People were disappointed because they did not show any of them. So in fact, the library is actually really small. That's only like 10 to 15 games, which is another thing I hate. I mean, why limit the number? Like, why do we not have more games available? Because they're small games, they take up a small amount of space, they're not that hard, you know. It just doesn't make sense why they're releasing only some and not all. they didn't show anything as far as I'm concerned. Hold on, I guess I can watch it again. Maybe I'm wrong, but I don't think they did. Nintendo of America. Let's see, you said the official release trailer? Let's see, that is right there. We'll see. I guess I can watch it real quick and we'll see. Yeah, they will release more, but I don't know why they don't release them all at once, because it just doesn't make sense to me how you have these games and they're easily able to be ported over, but you choose to not. That's Sega Genesis. Where's the GBA stuff? There's Nintendo 64. Oh, there's the Game Boy Advance one. I don't think I actually watched the official release video, so... I'm not seeing anything related to Pokemon in here. Yeah. Wait. What about me? You might have, but I didn't see it, so. And it was so sad because they know people wanted it. Like, people were talking about it being in the Pokemon Direct, and then they didn't do anything about it. And part of me thinks it might be a licensing problem. Game Freak is very specific about that kind of shit. And I wouldn't be surprised if part of the reason they have it is actually because Game Freak's being like, nope, fuck that shit. We ain't gonna let you license it anymore. I don't know if that's actually how that works, but it part of it makes sense. I mean... Also, can I get some shiny luck in here? I wish that were a command. Honestly, I should make that a command. I should totally make that a command now. Also, have you ever used the new commands command? I don't know if I ever showed you that one or not. It's I designed the thing in Stream Elements when I switched to OBS. So, I don't know if I ever showed you it or not. But yeah, if you want to see it, you can do exclamation mark commands, and it will give you a link to my commands, which is pretty cool. There you go. I kind of wish it listed them out, but also I'm like, yeah, I understand why they didn't, so. It's blank? Wait, it is? I guess I never clicked on it. Wait, it is? Well, that sucks. Well, now it's good that I know that, and I can figure out why. Let's do an encounter real quick. Alright, you want to try it again? Chat command. What? It should be working. Maybe I'll have to type that one out on my own. Well, that's good to know. I can fix that eventually. It looks like the default commands were just deleted, so... I don't know how long it's been broken, because it did work initially, so... Good to know that I will end up having to fix that at some point. Holy crap, has it really been... Have I really been... Oh, yeah, okay. I thought I've been recording for an hour, but no, I've been recording this locally for 20 minutes since I did the last one, because I like to do 30-minute recording sessions locally, and then delete them later on if I don't get the shiny. Because I've known that YouTube can get laggy, so it's better to record. It's better to record locally while you're doing it, just in case you get it, so that you have the local recording, and you don't have to try downloading from YouTube and having to deal with the lengthy download and everything else. I mean, realistically, I've only done like 200 encounters, but it feels like so much more. And that's between both games, right? I mean, at least they're still going faster than older games, but... I kind of want to get the Stakataka. I got the Blacephalon, and I would like to get Stakataka out of the way and just done, so... Of course, knowing my luck, I'll probably get into Heligo first, because my Ultra Sun has never been unlucky. Oh, that sucks. Do you have the Shiny Charm? I would assume you have the Shiny Charm, because who wouldn't have the Shiny Charm? And I'm assuming it's Masuda method as well. That sucks, going almost double odds. Especially for eggs. Well, I can't do them very often. Yep, Masuda method. Dirto. New Pokemon announced, a foreign version of Ditto. Dirto. It's Ditto. Just dirt. It's a mud blob that can perfectly mimic other Pokemon, but it's always brown. Yeah, it's like how the original Ditto was always a purplish tint. It reflects that original gen, the original gen looks. So I was gonna ask, which thumbnail style do you think is better for the shiny reactions? A screenshot of the shiny reaction, or having the actual 3D model of the shiny on a background? I kind of wanted to run a poll, but I'm kind of tired of running polls, so. Let me just relax my neck a little bit. Shiny? Oh, nope. Between a fucking saint and a sinner. Between a fucking saint and a sinner. The end. I'm so close to finishing the national decks in BDSP. Bro, I can help with that. I completed the entire living decks, mostly through the use of using Legends Arceus. I made a bunch of them, and then anything I didn't have, I just put one of my shinies that I had a duplicate of up. And so this is actually interesting. So you know how Pokemon Home knows the difference between duped shiny Pokemon in BDSP, and so. Given that they know the difference between duped Pokemon in BDSP, what do you think happens when you transfer a box of duped Pokemon that are all exactly the same up from Gen 2? Using Pokemon Bank. Whoops, don't want to do that. I wonder if anyone's even on that live competition anymore. Oh, the restless part of me. Down your head. I imagine the ones back then get their own separate identity because their coding has to change to support new consoles, right? I didn't think about it that way, but I'd imagine that they would still be exactly the same. But you might be right on that, because I was gonna say I thought that I wouldn't be able to transfer them up, but I was able to. So basically, I had a bunch of cloned. Like I did a bunch of breeding back in Gen 2 Virtual Console, and I got some shinies, and I duplicated those shinies, and I put them in Pokemon Bank. So I just transferred some of those up and for anything I didn't have. So I got like free legendaries for shinies and some of the harder evolutions for shinies. Because that's how I complete my dexes. Get their hidden ability? Yeah, but they would still all be exactly the same, right? Like, if I transfer them up, it would still have the same stats, the same nature, the same hidden ability. Right? So in theory, they should be marked as duped by the code, but they're not. Or even if you were to duplicate one in... Like, I could theoretically duplicate one of my Pokemon right now, and it would probably have the same thing. Even, like, transferring from Gen 7. If their data has been changed, the identified code would change. The stats and all that would be the same. That's confusing. But yeah, you might be right on that. Oh, did you see Austin's video on how to get the old Shiny Mew event in Gen 1 Virtual Console? It's actually pretty interesting. It's complicated, but it's cool. Granted, I was kind of thinking about actually shiny hunting one, rather than like actually catching it, checking the stats. If the stats aren't right, resetting. But not sure about that. Okay. Funny number. Ha ha ha. Funny number. Come so clean. What lies beneath your skin? It's thin. Holy Ghost, go on, hold me close. Better run, here we come, it's the day of the dead. Oh, world of oblivion, bad dreams. I got all these track right to my head. You're not really that I'm just made up of bad dreams. I'm really not a man, I'm just asking on with the way. Understand basic. You're on our hit list, so come on, you missed it. Bitch, you're on our hit list. Hold on, holy God. Hold on, hold me close. Better run, here we come, it's the day of the dead. Hold on, holy God. Hold on to the ones you know. Better run, here we come, it's the day of the dead. Hold on, holy God, go on, hold me close. Better run, here we come, it's the day of the dead. Hold on, holy God, go on to the ones you know. Better run, here we come, it's the day of the dead. When the ashes start to rise, and the moon falls from the sky, and 1,000 candles burn into the night. When the angels softly cry on the waves below the sky, 1,000 people between you and I. Hold me close, better run, here we come, it's the day of the dead. Hold on, holy God, hold on, hold me close. Better run, here we come, it's the day of the dead. Hold on, holy God, go on to the ones you know. Better run, here we come, it's the day of the dead. Holy Ghost. It's the Day of the Dead. It's the Day of the Dead. You almost have 15 full boxes of eggs. Are they hatched, or are those just the ones that you still need to hatch? That's crazy if that's how many you still have to hatch. I would hope that you'd get 2 of them if you have 15 to still hatch. Just collecting right now? Yeah, but 15 boxes, that's what? 400, that's almost odd, too odd in just ones that you need to hatch still, so. Yeah, honestly, I hope you get 2 within those. Also, I'm not exactly sure how Masuda works in this generation, but it seems like because they changed it, it can take a lot longer to get, even though the odds are supposed to be 1 in 512, I feel like unless you get all 512 in one picnic, it fucks with the odds, because in older generations, you could just throw both in the daycare, and even if you went and did something else, they would still be in the daycare, and you could still collect those eggs. And since Gen 7, it was predetermined when you put them in, so you could look forward to them. But, because I've seen a lot more people go a lot higher on Masuda hunts than they should in this game. Which makes me think it's 1 in 512 if you get them all in the same batch of eggs. Falling out of love is hard, falling for betrayals with broken trust and broken heart. I know thinking. No, I'm saying, yeah, I'm saying just make sure, just get all of your eggs in one sitting in the same camp and see if it affects it and has a difference. Which would be extremely boring and take a long time, but if you stocked up on ingredients, you could do it. Shining on the skyline, all we have is gone now. The impossible. I have 100 of every sandwich ingredient. Same. But you figure you go through probably 6 ingredients every time you make a sandwich. Well, I guess it would work. Ooh, you know what would be fun? If you used an Herba Mystica in your egg sandwich, if that egg had a higher chance to be shiny because your Pokemon that are breeding consumed an Herba Mystica. That'd be a cool mechanic. I kind of wish they'd implemented that now. Even though we don't need to have higher shiny odds than, like, the fact that they implemented a 1 in 300 shiny odd option when you can already get 1,000 Pokemon seen an hour is kind of stupid. Like, if I'm being honest, I would have been happy if everything in this game was full odd, because you can see enough Pokemon, it doesn't really upset me. Like, yes, I mean, you'd probably end up going maybe 5 or 6 hours per shiny, but I mean that's around average odds for older generations. So yeah, that would be cool, but at the same time that would be a little overpowered. But they already have a 1 in 300 chance in just wild Pokemon, so the fact that some people no-life the game and already have living dexes is kind of like, that's kind of disturbing, how you can literally get shinies faster than ever before. But I do like that you can choose, right? One of the things that sucked about Legends of Arceus is with mass outbreaks were always an increased shiny odds, meaning you couldn't choose to hunt the mass outbreaks because even if you wanted that Pokemon and a lot of that Pokemon specifically, which was more of a problem with massive mass outbreaks that were the same way. Come on, close. Thank you. On the cold even say, on the wings of darkness of eternity. I did a shiny only playthrough Scarlet though. 21 shinies, one for every badge, plus major ending, all 3 pass. Ah, I see. I don't think I could have the patience to do that. A badge quest was never really, like, I like playing through the game normally without any major stipulations like that. That's cool though that you completed a badge quest. You're one of the people who say that you can. I see. That's really cool. Actually, on my, so the first day that Scarlet and Violet came out, I bought Scarlet, and rather than rushing through the game, I actually, I shiny hunted. I was trying to get a shiny Wooper. Unfortunately, I only got a shiny Azurill and a shiny Drowsy, which they're sitting in my box still. I haven't used them at all. And then, but I did, and I got the shiny Veluza. I don't know if you saw that reaction or not. Well, I didn't get a live reaction. I found it and then filmed it afterwards because it was so cool. So, also, if you haven't caught up on my shiny reactions, you really should. I put out quite a few, and I could use the watch time. So, there's a curse between us, between me and you. What have you done? What have you done now? Also, do you want a sneak peek at the project I'm working on? Actually, since you are the only one here, I could show that sneak peek without giving away too much information. Hold on, let me get to, I think it's this one? No, it's not that one. It's that one. Okay. Let me move myself over here. Then we'll go into, I believe it's in my, I'm not sure if you'll be able to hear this or not. I don't know if I have my desktop audio on. Well, we'll find out. Let's go here, here, and then we'll start with this one. Okay, here it is. Hold on, let me hide myself real quick so you can see it. Whoops. Turn those down. Alright, here we go.
Hello everyone, Marill here, and have you ever wondered how many steps it takes to beat a Pokemon game? Yeah, me neither, but I thought it could be fun to find out. And with the step counter that's built in the Pokeatch, it's possible. Now, the Pokeatch is only available in Pokemon Diamond and Pearl and their remakes, so we will have to use one of those games. The goal? To beat the game in as few steps as possible. But this goal comes with its own challenges. Not being able to move freely means that my ability to grind will be extremely limited due to not being able to access as many wild Pokemon battles and certain trainer battles being inaccessible because you cannot walk to them. The other reason is that if you want to catch specific Pokemon for your team, you may be unable to due to them being locked behind additional steps or just not encountering them along the way. Now, because of these, you would think that I should encounter every trainer battle and wild encounter I see, right? Fight it out and get the experience. Well, the thing is, you also don't want to go to the Pokemon Center a million times, because that as well increases your steps. So you want to ideally minimize the number of things you battle to prevent yourself from having to go to the Pokemon Center as much as possible. Of course, there are solutions to this, like stocking up on healing items, and other ways to mitigate that problem, but we'll have to find out as we go. So, without further ado, let's find out how many steps it takes to beat Pokemon Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl. I hope you enjoy.
Yep. Yep, that's it. Yep. Let's go back to this one now. Oh, I guess I could show the other one. Oh, I would love to have a shiny Cyclizar. It's one of those, I've hunted it, but I've never really actually, I've never been able to get it. I hunt it, and then I leave and hunt something else, because my luck says, no, you can't have it, so. Yeah, but I want to hunt one myself. Like, I have other people's shinies, but I never use them or do anything with them, so. Also, that reminds me, I might show you that other project I'm working on as well. Oh, I thought that was shiny for a second. Damn it. I hate getting shy notes so much. Let's see. Oh, I didn't move it there, huh? I must have kept it in here then. Oh, yep. There it is. We'll go back to that one. No, that one. Yep. And then we'll move you here. You over here. This one I'm proud of. I spent quite a bit of time editing it and making graphics for it, so we'll see. Oh, am I on the wrong? I think I'm on the wrong one.
Shiny Pokemon, a rare alternate colored form of Pokemon that many have never encountered. Throughout the years, there have been many different methods for collecting these Pokemon, leading many to try and collect them all. This is all well and good, but many of these Pokemon were caught and then evolved, which I feel can defeat the purpose of shiny hunting.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. Where are the graphics at? What? Why are you not working? You're supposed to work right. Yep. Yep. Come on. Work, please.
Shiny Pokemon,
there we go.
a rare alternate colored form of Pokemon that many have never encountered. Throughout the years, there have been many different methods for collecting these Pokemon, leading many to try and collect them all. This is all well and good, but many of these Pokemon were caught and then evolved, which I feel can defeat the purpose of shiny hunting. This is where my challenge comes in. In the new generations of Pokemon, it is now possible to hunt nearly every Pokemon's evolved forms, and that is just what I'm willing to do. So come along with me on my shiny quest. The rules for this challenge are as follows and may vary depending on the game. For each generation of Pokemon, I must obtain all of the fully evolved Pokemon that were added in that generation in the wild. If the fully evolved form cannot be found shiny, I must obtain the highest form available and evolve it. If available, I will also unshiny lock legendaries and event Pokemon to make this more fun. With everything out of the way, let's get into it. I hope you enjoy this glorified shiny montage.
And I haven't gotten. I was gonna do Scarlet and Violet first for that one, so it's almost ready to go. Let's go here and then move it back over. Oh, you mean transferring them between save files? I see. Yeah. But what do you think of that idea? You should go for shiny decks the next game. Basically the project, but hunt every stage of every Pokemon available. That takes time though, and I will eventually do that, but I only really care about the evolutions. Like, I'm not really one to hunt lower evolutions because I only really want the fully evolved ones. But yeah, I will eventually do that. I would just rather do these ones first. But I think my shiny total in Scarlet and Violet for that is, I think the total number of Pokemon that I can hunt in Scarlet and Violet fully evolved new Pokemon is 60. So I've got like 12 out of 60 so far, and I plan to kind of up that number in the next few weeks by as much as I can. So oh, cat. I like some of the Prevos. They're not as good as a lot of the fully evolved forms, but you're right. I loved hunting because I did hunt for a shiny low kicks, and I love that its shiny resembles a grasshopper, and because I've seen so many of that color, like that yellowish green grasshopper so many times, and I've caught so many of them. It was like shiny hunting low kicks was like a return to my childhood. It was weird. I don't know if you if you've ever lived in an area where there were a lot of those big grasshoppers that were that color and caught them, but you know what? I was just thinking about it. You know what they need to make now that they have a grasshopper Pokemon? They need to make a praying mantis, because praying mantis eat grasshoppers. So you could do like a Marini and you could be like Marini and Corsola, where the praying mantis Pokemon eats low kicks because yeah, figures. Because, you know, you would, I don't know if you ever did this, but we would catch praying mantises and we would put them in the garden because the praying mantis would eat the grasshoppers and the bugs that would try and eat your crops. So I feel like that could be such a fun mechanic. And they totally should have done that this generation. Released a grasshopper Pokemon. What the fuck? I mean, I've tortured my share of bugs, so I guess I can't really be judgy about that one. I mean, you know, you rip their legs off, you rip their wings off. That how would you get them to fight each other? That seems like impossible, because they would just run away or not do it. Six, 666, the funny number. Irritate them and then put their legs and throat into each other's mouths. Oh, so they're not actually fighting each other. You're just like... I thought you meant like you'd put them in an arena and they would fight naturally. I'm like, I don't know how you'd manage that. I don't know why I thought that, but... Yeah, but what do you think? Do you think they should make a grasshopper Pokemon? You know, maybe I should draw a grasshopper Pokemon, and then that Pokemon is you would, let's see, it's Steel type. So in order to make it be able to hunt, well, I guess you don't have to make it the type to hunt it, but oh, that is true. Lurantis is a praying mantis, but I feel like making a new praying mantis Pokemon that specifically hunts low kicks. Or having some kind of lore behind low kicks and Lurantis. I guess Lurantis are in Paldea. So it would make sense if Lurantis were a natural predator of low kicks. But the typing doesn't really match there. Because if it's fairy, then low kicks has the advantage, which doesn't make much sense. I gotta go let the cat out. Also gotta open my window a little bit. I got warm. It's a tiny bit this winter. Just let it cool off a little bit. And then close it. It could be fairy fighting. That is true. I guess they kind of balance each... I thought, wait, it's not steel? Why the fuck did I think that low kicks was steel type? I don't know. Yeah, for some reason I thought it was steel type, so ignore me. That does make sense, actually. So... It just seems like it would be bug steel type, because it looks like it's made out of metal. Am I the only one who thinks it looks like it's made out of metal? It's like, yeah, honestly, now I kind of want to make it work, I kind of want to make it work competitively now. Me out. Contradictions, why won't you let me out? Yo, MI Gamer, haven't seen you in a bit. Welcome to the stream. Glad you could make it for once. I haven't seen you in a stream in a little bit. We are talking Pokemon Scarlet and Violet and a bunch of other weird stuff. Like, we're talking about how Lurantis should hunt low kicks lore-wise because praying mantises are known to hunt smaller bugs like grasshoppers to eat them. So it would make sense that the fairy mantis Pokemon... Wait, is that actually its Pokemon? Is that actually its Pokedex entry? Did I just predict a Pokedex entry or did you make that up? Because I guess I should have looked up the Pokedex entry. Oh, okay. That should totally be its Pokedex entry in Paldea, though. Make it, you know how, why can't I think of the name of it? How Corviknight, it can be the Corviknight to, what's it called? Why can't I remember it? The big fucking hammer Pokemon. It's like Corviknight is to that, as Low-Kick is to Lurantis. Lurantis is a grass type. It's based of mimicry of plants, huh? Interesting. I'm telling you, I'm bulletproof. I feel like it could still work though. Like, I guess it's not bug type, huh? I guess we could go back to the initial idea of creating an actual praying mantis. And now that I know it's bug dark, we could either make it fire type, fairy type, or fighting type. And I like the idea of making it a fighting type. Because it would make sense that the bugs would naturally fight each other. No, create a bug fighting type for the bug that competes against the bug dark type. Fairy because of the orchid mantis? Now I gotta look up what this orchid mantis is. I like the idea of a bug fighting type though. That would be a good Pokemon. I'm sure A-Drive would be happy. Oh yeah, that does. Hold on. Let me just show this. See if I can get my camera to focus in on it. I don't know how well you can see that, but that's the orchid mantis. That's actually, that looks a lot like Lurantis, so I can see Lurantis being based off of that. Oh, imagine they make the next generation has like a bunch of new bug types, and one of them is like you have a stick bug Pokemon. There's already a walking spider Pokemon. Regional fake or Lurantis? Both is good. Like, I kind of want to see what did I start with? What did I start the stream at? 430. So we're getting close to doubling the number of encounters I've done tonight. So let's see, it's almost been 2 hours, meaning I've almost done relative to 400. Regional fake of Lurantis. Lurantis is the actual regional fake, and it's mimicking the other mantis. Mantisception. Oh, so you're saying make a like a Paldean Lurantis that's fairy fighting, and and Lurantis is mimicking that Pokemon, or something like that. That'd be like interesting even for Pokemon. The other one actually existed before Lurantis, and Lurantis isn't the actual regional fake? Huh. So make a Lurantis that's fairy fighting, And the original Lurantis is mimicking, or the Alolan Lurantis is mimicking that Lurantis. Yeah, that is true. Wait, are you saying that's what Lurantis does, or are we talking about making new Pokemon? You're confusing me. I gotta go for a second. Probably gonna try and rope me into making dinner. soup. That was an interesting... Just randomly saying soup. Oh, what's for dinner? Mini predictions. Alright, so it's between driving somewhere and getting takeout, thawing out hamburger and making something with that hamburger, or frozen pizzas. I guess I could let chat choose what I get for dinner, but... Because I don't want to drive anywhere, and I also don't necessarily want to end stream early, but I guess I could do another 15 encounters, end stream, and then go get dinner. It's not like hamburgers themselves, it's just frozen hamburger that you can mix up into something like hamburger helper or spaghetti or just something that mixes hamburger or tacos, things like that. Because we buy hamburger in batches and then we condense it into the packages, and then we buy it in bulk, condense it, and then freeze it because that's the most cost-effective way to do it. Whoa, that sounds interesting. I don't know if I'd put a pepper on a burger. Look up and said what I said about the Neurantis. Okay. Since some plants have been known to mimic living animals, search up plant mimicry. Some plants mimic animals to either scare potential predators or attract insects to help pollination. Neurantis is already based off of plant mimicry, and the one we are talking about could be what Neurantis itself is based on within the Pokemon universe. Okay, that makes sense now. Yeah. We do that with all sorts of stuff. So we'll buy like pork loins. You can cut them up. You can freeze them for pork chops, and you can do it for chicken. Like you can get quite a bit of chicken out of an actual whole chicken, and that's what we do. So, hi Executor. I didn't mean to do that. Like you can package your own chickens where you get the wings, the thighs, and you can make stock out of them too. Damn it, I did it again. I don't care about you, Executor. Alright, but let's do a poll. What should I do for dinner? Spaghetti, frozen pizzas, or takeout? Kahlua pork, huh? That definitely sounds interesting. What's interesting, though, is we've done a bunch of other stuff, too. Like, my family is very white, but we own a wok because we have made fried rice before. And it was good fried rice. It was like actual authentic fried rice in a wok with everything. Alright, now the question then becomes, what takeout do I get? Just need pork, liquid smoke, bacon, salt, and cabbage. So is it like a pork salad? That's what I get from those ingredients. It's like you throw them into a bowl and you mix them together and you have a pork salad. A liquid smoke, yeah. Or I have a smoker. I could just smoke it. Like, instead of using liquid smoke, you actually smoke it on a smoker. Actually, that seems interesting. Cooking pork. Well, I've smoked ribs and stuff before, but smoking pork on it would be interesting. But yeah, I'm looking it up on my phone now. But yeah, and we've also made... one of my favorites is making homemade teriyaki sauce. Oh, you mean for a crock pot? Yeah, that works too. Wait, then where does the liquid smoke come in? Is it a seasoning? I thought you meant like when you can cover something with a bowl and smoke it in the bowl itself. But now I'm thinking it's more of a rice with Kahlua, pork, and cabbage. I'm not a huge cabbage fan, but I would absolutely give it a try. But yeah, I was saying one of my favorite things is making homemade teriyaki sauce, and then you can make teriyaki chicken, you can make teriyaki pork chops. I know teriyaki pork chops sounds weird, but you can glaze any meat after it's done cooking with teriyaki and infuse that flavor into it. Or you can marinate it, which is the better option. Barbecue sauce works with a lot of stuff too. Like, I like barbecue chicken and ribs and all that other, very southern stuff. The cabbage cuts into the saltiness. Yeah, I can imagine you need something to take salt out of it if it's too salty. But what takeout? So the options in my local town are We've got Wendy's, McDonald's, a couple Mexican places, which I'm preferable to the Mexican places because I like them better. And then you got Arby's, McDonald's, Wendy's. There's a Subway if it's still open. I'm not sure if it'll stay open too much longer. I made myself teriyaki spam musubi last week. I've done that before. We had leftover rice, and I always have spam in the pantry. So and we basically I had everything to make spam musubi. So if I remember, spam musubi is where you pour the teriyaki sauce in it, and you essentially cook the spam in the teriyaki sauce to infuse the teriyaki flavor into it, and then you put it on rice and seaweed if you have seaweed. But yeah, honestly, there's so much you can do with teriyaki, and it's so good. Oh, there are a couple of... Let me tell you about my ramen recipes. Yeah. So, being a broke-ass college student, you learn you learn a bunch of different ramen recipes. And in my mix, I've mixed it a couple ways, but one of my favorites is actually doing what I call ham-fried ramen. So you cook your ramen, and then you pour all of the water out, but you take a little bit of it, and you mix the seasoning in with it, right? And then in your wok... You cook an egg and you put it on the side, and either ham or some other meat. You can also do it with spam, and you sear off whatever meat you're using, and then you mix the ramen with the ham or the spam, and then you add in some eggs and some chives, and you end up with essentially fried rice, but it's with ramen instead, with the ramen flavoring packets and the ramen seasonings. That seems like a good price. And then there's another one I tried where, I don't know if you guys have seen the trend where people use Kewpie mayo and they mix it with an egg and stuff, but I made my own version of that where I mix a couple eggs with the seasoning packets and a little bit of mayonnaise. So you essentially emulsify the mayonnaise with the seasoning packet and an egg or two. And then you use that as a sauce. So what you do is you leave a little bit of water in the pan, and then you mix that in, and it becomes a sauce. So it becomes more like a pasta than ramen, and you get that sauce to stick to the noodles, and it tastes amazing. It does take a bit to get past the look, because mayonnaise chunks with eggs and seasoning packet does not look good until it's done mixing it together. Oh, you got a huge discount? Yeah. There are places like that on campus, too. Right then. I think after the next encounter or two, I'll probably stop the stream to go get some dinner. I drove up to... Is that Manchester? Or Munster? Munster? I don't know how to pronounce that. I'm not southern enough for that. And got ghost pepper jack cheese, smoked habanero cheese, jalapeno mustard, and peach That sounds like a lot of spice. And like I said, I'm white, and I can handle some spice, but I can't handle too much. Munster? Okay, I know I've heard that name before, so. Dang, I was hoping to get a shiny tonight. I need something to post Saturday. Maybe I'll just finish my, I started a Bisharp hunt so I could evolve it into King Gambit. I might finish that and post that Saturday. I like spice, I just don't like too much spice. Because there's a point where it becomes just pain instead of actually tasting good. But yeah, I think I'm going to go ahead and end the stream. Thank y'all for showing up. I'm glad to get back in touch with you guys. I am hoping to stream more, and I'm actually hoping to actually stream more and not just say I'm not going to stream more and then have a hiatus of like 3 to 5 months. Oh, that sounds rough. I can't say I wouldn't have done that though. Yeah, but thank y'all for coming out and talking. It's fun, and it gives me extra watch time because streams help with watch time. So I'll see you guys next time, and I'm going to end the stream and get some food because I'm hungry. Because we're talking about food, and now I'm hungry, and I really need to end this, so I'll see y'all.